exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is 29th of April, 2015, and we are out of April. Here comes May. Hard to believe we're 4 months through this year already. It's just been flying, especially when you're having fun working quite a bit, as I have been in the last, especially this week. So, short show today. Only a few things have come out of Japan here at the end of the month. The 65 Grand Prix from AMT has not hit yet, so there's nothing there. And basically all the things that we're going to talk about here real quick are reissues anyway. So there's one kit announcement that we came across. Ebro has given a date on the McLaren MP430. That's the McLaren Honda. They're going to do a third variation of that 1/20th scale F1 kit as the Japan Grand Prix specific edition. It has a different front wing attachment point than the other two kits do. There's probably some few other things that are different with it that are here and there that the F1 guys would know about better than I would, but they're showing a lot of pictures of the way the front wing attaches, so that was apparently very unique for that race. And that's going to have a tentative September release date, so you still got quite a ways to go on that one, based on at least what HobbyLink Japan is showing for their release date. It's not fixed on Hobby Search, which means that Hobby Search doesn't think it has a release date, or they're not confident in it whatsoever. But at least know that, like we said, we had mentioned that kit would be coming eventually, and now maybe September will be when it's going to come. And that's pretty much it. A programming note. Yesterday, actually, today. Today, because it was Friday, and then from starting pretty much Tuesday of next week is a series of public national holidays in Japan that are commonly called Golden Week, as sort of a compilation of what they are. Basically, Japan will be closed pretty much from Tuesday of next week through the following Monday, and as such, unless some stuff happens, Monday basically. We will be taking this coming Friday, that's the first Friday of May, off. There will not be an actual video for that Friday because there won't be anything to talk about. The only thing that could come out would be the Subaru Sandbar fire truck from Aoshima and the 65 Grand Prix from AMT. Neither one of those is necessarily going to set the world on fire. The 65 Grand Prix obviously is a reissue of a kit that you could probably get on eBay cheaper in its prestige packaging than you can get the newly reissued one for anyway. And then the fire truck, well, you couldn't get it anyway because Japan will be closed and you can't ship it over. So that'll just wait till next week. The following weekend, the weekend of, I guess that would be the 15th and 16th, will be the Shizuoka Hobby Show over in Shizuoka, Japan. Now, that show going into that week, we won't have a lot to talk about from the show because the show probably will not actually be, the show won't be open to the public until the weekend, so it'll be hit and miss whether or not we get any pictures of anything that we can show you for that Friday. But the following week, the third week of May, expect that to probably be like a 30, 45-minute show because we'll have lots of pictures to talk about, plus just all the stuff that's going on regularly with kit releases. And I'm trying to think if there's any other notes I need to go over. No, I believe that's it. So let's look at what we got release-wise. All the stuff is Japan-based. Hasegawa has finally reissued, because this stuff was lingering when everything else from Hasegawa had already come out this month. Reissued the two Honda Civic 3-door, basically. It's a 2-door hatchback, so it's a 3-door. This one is the Civic Sear 2. And then you have this one, which is the VTI ETI. Pretty much the only difference between these two kits are the wheels. The Sear 2 is sort of the sporty is probably the wrong word to use for a Civic, but sort of the more sporty upgrade model. I believe that I'd have to get mine out. One of the two of these kits comes with window decals, sort of decals for the window black, rather than having just masks that you then paint the window black on with paint. One of these two, and I can't remember if it's this one or this one, has the things in decals. And like I said, beyond that, this one you can build either as a VTI or an ETI. There's no real difference other than like what colors you paint the interior, and then there are decals that allow you to make it VTI, which is sort of the mid-grade Honda Civic of this generation, or the ETI, which is like the bottom basement Econo version. Aoshima had one reissue this week, and that is the reissue of the Lamborghini Aventador 50th Anniversario kit. Nothing new here, just reissue, to restock the coffer, so to speak. And then lastly is this, which is something we were waiting on for a couple weeks now, or actually a couple months now, because originally this was supposed to come out in February. This is the Pacific Racing with Muse Love Live. That would be this anime voice thing going on in the background there. McLaren 12C GT3 Super GT car. Now, this is all a variation of what they call an audio vox, which is a computer-generated audio singing program that's very popular in Japan. You've seen a lot of this in the Good Smile Racing. They have, of course, Hatsune Miku on there, which is the probably the most popular audio box in Japan. And that young lady, doesn't exist. She's just a computer voice, basically. That you write songs for, and then there's the anime creation that somebody along the lines they drew up what they thought that she should look like. This is sort of the same thing. This is a girl band, basically, for lack of better words. Pacific Racing is a real Super GT GT300 team, and this is a real Super GT GT300 race car. The decals in this kit are not nearly as complicated as the Hatsune Miku Good Smile Racing decals have been on the BMW Z4s or the Mercedes-Benz SLS GT3 cars. But it is still quite a bit of decals, obviously. Basically, you just paint this car white, and the decals will do everything else. Pacific Racing did not finish all that particularly well in Super GT last year. And actually, this year they've merged with Gulf Racing, and they're going to be racing the brand new Porsche 911 GT3R. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Fujimi ever does anything with that in terms of releasing a kit of that new Porsche 911, because they've had the I don't know when that car technically came out, if it was like a 2012 or so, of that Porsche 911 GT3R. This, of course, there's a new one in 2016, so it's the new body Porsche 911. But they have in the past done other kits with Pacific Racing, and they've done other kits with Gulf Racing as well. And then, of course, we're waiting to see. Gosh, I was trying to keep that cough in until I was done talking. Sorry, guys. And, of course, they've done all the stuff with Good Smile Racing because they actually sponsor the car as an associate sponsorship. So we, of course, are waiting to see if they're going to do a new Mercedes-Benz AMG GT GT3 car. So as of right now, we've seen Fujimi's release schedule for the entire summer, and there are no new automotive kits on it. It'll be interesting to see what they release, through June, July, and August. But everything that they're doing through the summer, anyway, is going to be ships and planes. And there's some egg ships, sort of. If you know what an egg plane is, these things are sort of the same principle, except they're aircraft carriers. In a battleship. So, it's interesting subject matter in an overall sense, but for what we're looking for in the sense of those Toyota vans that they teased last fall towards Christmas time, and, of course, the possibility of there being new GT3 cars, we're just going to have to wait until probably the fall or the winter to find out. I don't know. It may come down to how well GSR does this year in the points, because they kind of stunk the joint up with the Mercedes last year. Winning the last race, but they finished 11th in the points. If they have a really good season this year, or Gainer does, because Gainer is another race team in Super GT that Fujimi also has a association with, making their kits as well. The popularity of the car and how well it does may go into whether or not they do models of it. Because as much as I prefer they would do one, guys who buy aftermarket decals probably aren't the ones that are moving a lot of the kits. So we shall see in that term. Anyway, you've seen enough Schoolgirls to last you for the rest of the week and possibly next week. Like I said, no show on Friday, but we will, of course, be doing our compilation video for the May releases as soon as we get the official word out of Revell of what they're going to be doing. I know what they're supposed to, but you know how that works. Every now and then release dates slide or they get pushed up. And then we're going to take a look at whether or not we get any more kit reviews filmed this week, to do this week. Like I said, this past week was insanity at work. One guy was on vacation, then another one of our drivers had a very, very bad accident on the way to work and will be out indefinitely, really. So we'll see how that affects me in the sense of the hours I have to work and the hours I have free, because this week my normal local days ended up not being local. I had to go cover for the guy who was covering for the guy who was on vacation, and then somebody else had to cover for the other guy, and it's just a mess right now. So we'll see. I'm trying to hopefully this weekend get a few things in the can, so to speak, that I can just sort of disperse out from wherever I happen to be that has a Wi-Fi connection, rather than trying to keep recording in live and not having anything in backup. So we'll see how well that goes. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys in May on the other side.
Yeah.